Hey, so I guess I thought I'd do another video. Not gonna. Ow, ow, ow! I'm getting attacked by this lamp. This is my lighting, you guys. I almost burnt myself. Can't believe I almost set myself on fire. Anywho, I have so much fun alone. I like being alone. And I think that there's nothing wrong with being alone. That's just what I think. But what I really want to come to talk to you guys about is something that we all can relate to. And that's, what do you think I'm going to talk to you about today? Guess. Guess. You can guess. Come on, come on, come on. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and be straightforward with you guys because I'm tired of playing around with y'all, you know? Like, I've been on a hiatus for like a long time, and I just did a video the other day that I titled Danielle Opens Up about criticism, hate, and bullying. And I felt that was a very suiting, an appropriate title for the video and for what I talked about in the video, because I opened up about my personal struggles that I had to deal with when it came to hate from other people, dealing with hate from other people, and criticism, and all that good kind of stuff that is designed to make you stronger and to develop you into the person that you are meant to be. It kind of molds you, into it shapes you into the person that maybe you never thought that you would be, or you maybe thought that it would happen that way, but it happened that way. And everything is in this that happens to you is designed to strengthen you. And the whole purpose of my video is just kind of let you guys see, of that video anyway, it's just to let you guys see that everybody kind of goes through things in life, and I'm not different. I'm no different from the next person. I just want to let you guys see that I'm just a real person. I'm a regular person, and I'm no different from anybody else. The only thing that makes me different is the fact that I have something inside of me that won't let me sleep. And when I mean sleep, I'm not talking about sleep in the natural sense. I'm talking about sleep in the spiritual sense. Like, it just won't let me sleep. I have a very huge calling on my life, and I know that God has put me here to influence other people in a positive and a very special way. So I just know that my time here on this earth, I have a very long time here on this earth. I don't know like how long and when it's going to happen, but I just do feel like God is taking me to another level in life. And there are some things that I have to let go, and there's some people and relationships that I have to let go. And there's some things within myself just that I do that I need to let go. Some behaviors that I know I need to let go, because in order for God to use you, you have to position yourself to be used. And I'm learning that, I'm learning that. And the purpose of this video is kind of just for me to let some things off my chest, and just kind of just to open up, and talk with you guys, because I can create videos where I'm being straightforward and to the point, and it's 5 minutes long, and I have a script that I follow. But no, like, when I give you guys a video, like, I didn't write this stuff down. I haven't rehearsed what I'm going to say. I haven't even thought about what I'm going to say. I just got bored, and I decided to direct my energy into something that I feel is going to be meaningful and helpful to other people. And that's what basically this video is for, and that's the purpose of this video. So when I say that I'm reaching out and I'm connecting with you guys and I'm opening myself up, I really am. Like, I'm being who I am. There's no other way, no other person that I can be but myself. And so when I get responses like, oh, you need to switch it up and you need to do this and you need to do that, I mean, it's good that you guys leave feedback and you give me your opinion on how you think I did in the video and what you think I should have said or I shouldn't have said. And that's cool and that's fine. And I actually take time to think about, what you guys say and kind of reflect, on what you guys say. But I'm a type person, like, I'm very stubborn in my ways, and I'm really kind of, I know who I am. Like, I'm kind of, someone set in their ways. I won't say I'm set in my ways because I'm constantly changing. I'm always trying to evolve into a better person. But for something to change me and for something to really impact me, it really has to come from a source that I know is very genuine and is very pure. So when you're reaching out to someone and when you're trying to make someone change, what they do and, something about them and who they are, it's very important to be genuine, with your responses and with your feedback. And I let readers know this all the time because I work with authors, day in and day out. And it's important, like, when you're leaving feedback or when you're leaving reviews, on someone's work, on their performance or on a video or something that they wrote, it's just very important to just be genuine in your response. It's not about trying to push someone else's buttons or, take someone else's spotlight off the purpose for the reason why they created the video in the first place or they wrote the book in the first place. Is not to distract people's attention away from that. You don't want to get in their way because all they're going to do is come back and become a better person. So if your purpose is to get in someone's way and to, stop them from basically being who they are and being successful, you can't really interrupt, God's purpose and plan for your life and for their life, because all things work together, for together those who love the Lord. So whatever you do that was meant for their bad or for evil, God has a way of turning around for their good. And I've learned that, and I appreciate. That's why I say I appreciate. I mean, it's a good thing to have critics and have haters, and people who mess with you and maybe seem like they're getting in your way, because God has a way of using people. God has a way of using things that happen to you, and God has a way of tying the good and the bad together for your good and for a person's good, especially if that person is a person who believes in God and who has God living inside of them. So just wanted to throw that out there. And, I know that I realized that there were some, older people, I would say people who I would consider my elders, who are older than me, because I'm still somewhat young. I mean, I'm grown and I feel like, I have the right to say and speak my mind and to say what it is I want to say, but I have to be mindful that there are people who follow me and support me who may be older than me. They're considered my elders, if you want to think of it in that way. So maybe I did express myself in a way in my last video where I opened up about criticism and hate, and I kind of said maybe too much. I feel like even myself, like, I know, I have a tendency to know when I did wrong and to know when, okay, no, someone else is just trying to make me feel guilty. I did everything right. Like, there's a difference between someone making you feel like you did something wrong and then you just being a dummy and believing that you did something wrong, or someone is actually telling you, okay, hey, you did something wrong. You could have did, maybe you could have left that part out, or you should have said this, or you should have said that. So I kind of basically I stepped outside of my own self, and I watched a video from a third person perspective. I took myself out of the video of myself watching the video, and I watched it myself. And one thing that I noticed about myself is that, I do have the tendency to I say like what's on my mind, and I say it without any filter. So that was the whole significance behind the video. Danielle opening up and saying these things uncut and unfiltered, because, I did allow myself to speak some profanity, and I did allow myself to just put it out there. I just put it out there. So you'll see what I'm talking about if you go back and watch the video on my YouTube channel. But I apologize, like, if the profanity offended anyone, because I'm not here to offend anyone. Although I do speak things that are very controversial, and I just feel like, no, I'm not old. I'm only 29 years old or whatever. So, most of my fans are older than me. And that's the thing that I think that, I only can thank God for it and just see that I'm blessed, because, most of my fans are older than me. And when I say older than me, I mean like mid 30s, late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, like older than me. And, I should, respect them as my elder, not curse, and I'm not like when you meet me, I'm not really that way, unless I feel like I'm comfortable enough to be that way around you, so how you saw me in my last video is how I am if I feel like I can trust you enough to open up, because no one is perfect. I have my own weaknesses, and I have my own things that I would consider vices, like everyone else. So when I open up myself and I bare my soul, in front of you guys, the last thing I want to hear is judgmental remarks. I don't mind feedback, and positive and negative feedback. It's a way you can deliver your opinion, without being, what's the word for it? I don't even know how I can classify what the comment that I received on my last video. But anyway, maybe it's not even worth the thought. So for this video, like, I really just wanted to kind of address, my reaction and other people's reaction to my last video, and just kind of talk for a little bit about dreams. And when you have a vision in life, when you have something that God has, without a doubt that God has placed inside of you to accomplish, that without a shadow of a doubt that this is something God has called you to do. It's kind of hard to explain, but there's an inkling inside of you that this is something God has destined me to be. And when I was coming up, when I was younger, like, I knew that. I knew God had called me to be a leader. I just never knew that God would be calling me to lead in this way. Like, when I say in this way, I mean it happening this way, because, like, we can have a vision and we can have this goal that we have in mind, but sometimes we don't know how we're going to get there. And I just never knew, like, God would use me in this way. Like, God is using me in ways that I didn't even think he would use me in. Like I didn't even see it happening. You know, I saw that God using me to be a leader and to touch people and influence people, which I have. But I just never saw it happen this way. Like I always thought that my greatest influence would be on the younger generation, which it has been. I mean, it has been like all my life pretty much. I've been an influence on the younger generation and working with children. You know, that's where my time has been spent basically, like in the professional field, working with children. So I mean, that's never gonna leave me. That's always gonna be my passion. But recently, I would say from the age of, it's kind of hard. I gotta backtrack. I'm 29 years old now, so we'll say like 3-4 years ago. So I was like maybe 25, 26 years old. Like God has called me to reach out and to touch people who are older than me. So that's kind of weird. You know, I think God is using me in different ways. I'm like, it's amazing to me, you know. Sometimes like I don't even this is like my first time I'm actually taking time to reflect on my own life, because I'm so busy. You know, maybe I should do like a documentary, which I will. There is going to be a documentary coming on my life, and it's going to be called something American Dreamer. Like my movie is American Dreamer. My book is called American Dreamer, but my documentary, I don't know. The Making of an American Dreamer. I think that's what I'm going to call it. Because I already wrote the script for my documentary. Everything is just a matter of time. Like, I don't like to rush things. I mean, there are plenty of people who go out and they just rush stuff. Like, they just do it, you know? I'm not that type of person where I feel like the need to just go out and rush stuff. Like, if it's not, it's all about timing, you know? I've done that before. Like, I graduated from high school at 18 years old, went straight to college, graduated college at the age of 22. You know, it's just like I've always been the type person where I just had to do things in a certain time frame. And now it's just like I want God to lead me. I want God to be the guide and I follow him. You know, I don't want it to be where it's on my timetable where I have to do this and do this and do this by a certain time and just get this and that done. Like some people are like that, and that's good, and that's how you do things, and that's how they may do things. But where I'm at in my life right now is like it's just about God leading and guiding me at the appropriate time to do things. So when I talk about my book and my documentary that I have coming up, and it's in the making now already, I mean, I'll have people following me around, and you'll kind of get to see more of me, because it's kind of hard to get to know me if I'm just sitting here in front of the camera. You know, it's more to my life than me laying down talking in front of a camera. But I feel like this is some kind of like in the meantime stuff that I'll do with you guys, just to kind of connect. You guys can kind of see me for who I am. But there's a lot more, you know what I'm saying, to this girl behind this face. You know, like I have a story that I'm like itching, just itching to tell, you know. But I know it's all about perfect timing. I met a lady yesterday, I think it was, and she told me that she had a friend who was published to a major publishing house out of New York. And when she told me that, you know, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever, you know, big deal. But then I had to catch myself and think like, okay, Danielle, you're always telling people that God sends certain people into your life for a reason at the right time, but how have you applied that to your life? Like, are you realizing the people that God is sending into your life right now, you know, who are all play a role into manifesting your dream? And I'm like, I haven't really thought about that. I'm so much on the road to the point where I haven't even started to think about what's happening in my life right now, you know? Like, I don't know. I've just been on the forward motion. I've just been on the motion where I've had so many obstacles happen in my life and happen to me in my life, like just setbacks and obstacles just falling out of the sky, out of nowhere, just just dropping in my way. And it's just like every obstacle that has come my way, I've defeated that obstacle. I just have like one more obstacle to defeat, one more, and I'm going to talk about that in my book. Well, I talk about that in my book, not that I'm going to talk about it, but everything with me is like present tense because it's like it's happening now. It's not old news, it's new news, Ride, follow me, you know what I'm saying? Ride with me, follow me. But when you have a dream, you have this thing in life that you want to accomplish, there are three things, I think. Three things that you need to keep in mind. Number one, always remember the reason why you followed that dream, that you even had the dream to begin with. Because we all have dreams. We all have visions and goals in life that we want to accomplish, and places in life we see ourselves, in a certain amount of time where we say, 5 years from now, I see myself here. 5, 10 years from now, I'll see myself doing this. Or next year, I'm going to be doing this. And then when that time comes, it's like, what happened? Are you doing it? Or are you there where you said you were going to be or where you want to be? And you may be or you may not be. But most of the time, like, you're not. You know what I'm saying? You're not even there where you want to be. And I can speak for myself. I'm not where I want to be right now in life, especially not financially. That there's so much more than God has in store for me financially, spiritually, just in terms of life itself, friendship, relationship wise. Like, there's so many different people God, I think, is sending into my life, that different things He has in store for me that He's just preparing me for. I think that, how, like, when you're ready, or like, let's take for instance a baby. When a baby is getting ready to be born, like a mother, no other person knows when that baby is coming, I think, more than the mother does. And when the mother is having those labor pains and she's having those contractions, she knows that she is about to deliver a baby. It's like she knows. No one can tell her how much longer you have. It's just, I think a mother knows when that baby is coming more than anybody else knows, because it's her body. So when you have a dream and you've been working at this dream for the longest, and you've been putting in work, you've been putting in hours, you've been going the extra mile, you've been planning and working and planning and working, and to the point where you're just sitting there and you're just waiting, you're just ready, because you've been through so much, to the point where there's no more you can do to get ready. You're so prepared, to the point where if it was to happen to you at any given moment, it's like you would literally seize that moment, because that's just how ready you are. And so you have a dream and you're working so hard at that dream, and you feel like, okay, this dream isn't going to come true because I don't see any signs of it happening. I said I wanted to be a millionaire by the age of 30 years old, and I don't see any money coming in. I don't see, you know, anything major happening that I'm going to make any money. Or if your dream was to become a pro football player, but you didn't get signed to any team. You know, you tried out, or even worse, you didn't even make the tryouts, you know. Or if your dream, you know, let's say you're a writer, you're an author, and you want to not even make the New York Times bestseller list, but your dream was simply to sell 1,000 copies, you know, and then you release your book, and come to find out that no one really was interested in buying your book. And you did it one time, and then you figure, okay, well, that was that book. I released another book, and this book is different. You know, everybody's gonna be on this book because they're gonna love this book. You know, this book is different from any other book in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's different from any other book I wrote. So everybody gonna love this book. And you release that book, and then, you know, it's pretty much the same thing. Nothing different happens. So it's like, more you try and more you work hard towards your dream, sometimes you can feel like giving up. Sometimes you can feel like this is not happening. You know, I can't move forward because I'm just tired. You know, you feel tired. You just want to sit back, and you want to throw in the towel. You know, you want to just prop your feet up and just say, you know, really, fuck this. You know, I'm trying so hard. You're looking around and you're seeing everybody else is succeeding, but you're not. You're not going anywhere. You know, I think we all feel like that at times. And even when you get to start to feel like that, just know that there's another side to feeling that way. You know, there's another side to the despair and the hopelessness and just feeling tired and fed up. There's another side to that, and I'm moving because my feet is falling asleep. But there is another side to that. Oh gosh, my feet is falling asleep. Oh my gosh, it's not even falling asleep, you guys. My feet is cramping. Oh gosh, my hand is falling asleep. And my foot is cramping. Have you guys ever got a cramp in your foot? You should know how this feels. Like, I'm trying to do a video here, and I get a cramp in my foot. Ah! How do you get a cramp out of your foot? Do you just massage it or what? Ow! It hurts. But the first thing is just to stay your course. Like, make sure you stay your course. Just don't give up. Just continue to work hard and persist. And just never forget the reason why, you know what I'm saying, you chased that dream. The reason why you decided to dream and pursue your dreams in the first place. The second one is, and I have to talk about this because it's just inevitable that it's going to happen to you. Okay? So you know there are going to be obstacles in the way. You know there are going to be setbacks. You know that you might feel like one day just throwing in the towel and just giving it up. The second one is, know that there will be haters. I mean, it's just, I know you guys are tired of hearing this subject, and you're like, oh, she talked about that in her last video. Here she is at 29 minutes, and she's sitting here talking about God knows what. No, guys, I have a message to talk to you guys about. You know, I'm talking about your dreams and knowing that there will be haters. When I say haters, like, yeah, we use that word too loosely. Not everybody who throws out criticism your way is a hater. You know? Not everyone who intentionally says things that offends you is a hater, because some people really do care, you know? What I've learned is really the haters who care the most. So instead of looking at, you know, everybody who dishes out criticism as a hater, just change it to like lover. Like they're really lovers, but we call them haters because they make us feel bad. They say they hit the right nerve. They say something to us that that really touches us. Kind of in a funny way. So they're haters, but I'm not talking about those type of people. When I talk about haters, like people who really have good intentions, even though their words may offend you. I'm not talking about like those type of people. I'm talking about like haters. I'm talking about people who know in their heart that they have jealousy in their heart against you. And the thing about jealousy is like anybody could have a spirit of jealousy inside of them. I see it as a spirit. It really is, because it's something that can be cast out of a person, that can be removed from a person, but that person has to realize that they have that spirit within them. We all at times may get a little envious because we look, we always looking to our left, looking to our right, like looking over our shoulder, trying to see what the next person is doing. We can't stay the course and focus on what God has and the path that God has for us. It's like we always have to look to the left and to look to the right to see what that person is doing, what kind of outfit they're wearing, or how much money they're making, or where they live at, or what kind of car they drive. We always trying to get caught up in comparing ourselves to other people. And when we do that and we notice that somebody is, has a little bit of success and is doing a little bit better than we are, it's like there goes that spirit of envy and of hate, as if, oh man, this person is doing better than I am. The nerve of them to drive a better car than me, the nerve of them to have all their bills paid, but my bills ain't paid. The nerve of them to go to a well-respected school, and here I am barely even, I barely even getting accepted into a school, or I barely even pass the SAT, or whatever test you have to take to get into school nowadays. It's just like when we see other people doing better than we are doing, especially if you don't like the person, that makes it even worse. Like especially if something about that person that you just don't like, and you notice that person is doing better than you are, then it starts with envy and jealousy, and then jealousy and envy turns into hate. And hate is a scary emotion because it's almost something like you can't control. Like the Bible tells us to pray for our enemies, and in today's terms that would be your haters or whatever. Pray for your haters. And it's like it's only so much praying you can do for your haters, to the point where it's almost like prayer can't even change your haters, But prayer does change things. So that would be my best advice to give, when it comes to dealing with haters, is to pray. That's the first, step to when you got haters, and people who have haters, like they know what I'm talking about. If you're not doing nothing, you're not working towards a huge dream or huge goal in your life, or if you've never achieved anything in your life or accomplished anything, I'm not talking to you. I have a certain audience of people who I speak to. I know my audience. I know who I'm speaking to. I'm not speaking to you right now. I'll come back to you. I'm not speaking to you. If you never if all your life was just basically about getting by and working, for the man, 9 to 5 job, working paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I'm not talking about you. You ain't even on my level, honestly. I'm talking about those who are entrepreneurs. Like that's really my target audience. I know my audience because I know who I am, and that's who I typically tend to draw to me, is entrepreneurs and people who are really on their hustle and they grinding. Like, okay, when you visit, I have a difference in audience. I notice from, if you go on Facebook and you see my personal page, Danielle Leach, well, the people who mostly like that page is a different audience than the people who are my friend on Facebook of the profile Ubawa's bestsellers. Those are two different pages. It's the same person. It's still me, And sometimes, I may have an assistant update for me, but those are still my ideas. It's still me. Both pages are still, you're still getting Danielle. You're getting Ubawa because I'm the woman behind Ubawa, but you're getting Danielle. And so those are two different audiences. And the audience, my target audience with Ubawa is mainly entrepreneurs, authors, and business owners. Like, that's really all my friends on Ubawa's bestsellers. And if they are not, then they are very strong supporters of authors, entrepreneurs. Like, they support us. If they're not an author. If you're my friend on Facebook of my profile, Ubawa's bestsellers, and you're not an author, most likely you are a strong supporter of authors, or you have some type of tie to the literary industry. So, it's all professional over there, When it comes to Danielle Leach, it's just like most of those people are people who I probably went to school with back in Florida, whether it was Jacksonville or Tallahassee or whatever. So, those people I think were my target audience, like at first. And it was, when I say target, like my focal point. They were, when I first, got on Facebook, they were my main focus, and the people who I really wanted to speak to, and the people who I did speak to. That page was really taking off, but it's kind of seemed like now that I have kind of went on and did my own thing. When I say own thing, like, people who know me know what I mean when I say own thing, but I have to break it down to you. So what I mean when I say my own thing is that I'm not working for anybody. Like, I work for myself. If I work for anybody, it's for authors, independent authors. I'm serving them through Ubawa, but I'm my own boss. I set my own hours. I tell myself what to do. That's what I mean by my own thing. And I talked about that briefly in my last video, and I know probably some of you was like, what in the hell she's talking about? She's talking about doing her own thing. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm doing my own thing. I've been doing my own thing for a while now, probably since 2008. And it's 2013. How many years is that? 5 years? I've been doing my own thing, like, kind of my own hustle, my own solo hustle. So, what was I talking about? I get sidetracked. That's just my mind. But yeah, I was talking about, like, haters. Like, if you're not doing anything major, you're not gonna have haters. I hate to say it. So, if all you do is you just kind of ordinary person, it's like you have to do something major, whatever that major is. I don't care what it is. You have to be something that people gonna start talking, about you behind, for you to get hated. When I mean haters, these are people who will go out their way. I ain't talking about like people who they offering you criticism. Say thank you. When somebody offers you criticism, the people don't always have to offer you a compliment. People can offer you criticism. Say thank you. And I forgot that I'm on video, so y'all ain't supposed to be seeing my legs. I don't walk around showing my legs, I don't do that. I ain't want y'all to see my little SpongeBob, my little blankie. But you guys seen it now. And I still like my little SpongeBob blankie, because this is the little blankie that my mom got me when I started college at Florida State. And so those type of things, when you get gifts like that, you tend to hold on to them. So I still got my blankie. I still sleep in my blankie, but 29 years old, I got more than a little bit. But you're like, if you're not really doing nothing, nobody ain't have no reason to hate, But if you really like, and it's not even the people. People have to understand, like, it's not even, you can't get mad at someone when they issue hate to you. They dish out hate to you. It's not the person. It's a greater force. Like, I see things as like a greater force that's happening in this world. I don't see things like, I don't kind of take my energy out on people. I go to my closet and I kind of pray and take it out against the real force behind that evil. Because everything that happens stems from something. It has to stem from something. And it's usually good, or evil. So when someone, comes at me and dishes out hate, or someone comes to you and, goes out their way, and I mean, when I say hate, I'm talking about they go out their way to bring you down. And I don't want to give too much in this video. I'd rather save it, for another time. But I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. When somebody will go out their way, and it's almost like it makes you work extra hard to get where you are, because everybody is on everybody who is headed somewhere is like on a certain path to success, and you'll have those people don't even know that they're being led by an evil force to try to get in your way and stop you. So that's why it's important for you guys to be careful what you say out your mouth and what you do to people, because if you're getting in that person's way, and that person has been called by God to fulfill a specific purpose in life, and especially if it means impacting other people and leading other people, out of darkness, or whatever that purpose is, or if it's, a big purpose in life or whatever that God has ordained, what you don't want to do is try to get in the way of that purpose and not get in the way of that plan that God has. And I can talk on this for days. I can talk on this because it has a lot to do with a lot of things, especially in the church, in the Christian church, and the Baptist church, how the devil basically has set his foot inside the church. He's pretty much taking up residence inside the church now, and I can start naming churches, where the devil he's basically set up a playground, and it's ridiculous that the church members don't see it, and instead of coming together and protecting the bishop and the pastor, what these church members do is they leave the church, and that's the last thing you want to do when your pastor is under attack. Leaders get attacked. That's what I mean by hate. Looking at the thing with Eddie Long, who's to say he did or didn't? But if I was a member of that church, I wouldn't leave. I would not be like the other members of that church and leave, and other members of the Christian church around America who have witnessed this unfold, with this man in his church, and these, horrible accusations that have been filed against him, and who just have basically turned cold, Like, I think I'm just putting myself in his shoes and just trying to imagine, like, how could that feel if you are a leader and you have all these followers behind you, and here goes somebody, these guys, little boys, want to come and put salt in your game, lying, making up lies and stuff. That's what I mean by hate. That nothing else could drive a person to do something like that but hate. That's hate right there. And then you're going to try to sue the man for some money. Then you get found out in Miami, you doing some illegal stuff, and you get arrested. I mean, how that right there, when that happened, that let me know that was just the devil right there. That's the devil that came up into, God's territory and tried to destroy that church. And it's not just that church, it's so many churches around America, even the church that I was a member of in Jacksonville, Florida, Bethel Baptist Institutional Church, with the Bishop Senior and the Junior McKissick. Like, there's been so many rumors and just different things that have come up, about those two men who are leaders, who are very respectful and respectable leaders of the church. And here you got some haters just going around trying to spread rumors ain't even worth spreading, even worth talking about, really. That's the kind of stuff that I mean by hate. Because you got these men, these Christian men in the church, and here y'all go hating. How you gonna be a member of a church, being led by this pastor who is, speaking into your life every Sunday and every time you go to church. And you're supposed to be following this, this person. Even though, he is an instrument used by God, you still following him because he's the leader of the church. And just because you hear something on the news and the media, here you go, going the other way. You speaking, I mean, what kind of, that's not a faithful, I'm all about loyalty, That's not being a faithful member. That's the kind of stuff I don't like. You have to be able to be wise enough to know, as a Christian, what is of God and what is of the devil. And I mean, when I look at cases, I don't even watch the news or TV. I'm not even hip to what's going on with the TV shows that people watch now. I don't watch because there's a lot of filth. It's a lot of garbage that they want to put into your head. I just don't watch. That's why my house is so quiet right now, because I don't even have the TV. I don't watch that stuff. I don't pay for cable. I don't have cable. I'm not even interested in getting cable. If it's something I'm interested in watching on TV, I know how to get it from the internet and watch it on YouTube or whatever. But I don't have time for that stuff because there's a lot of garbage. There's a lot of negativity, and it's just not good for your mind or your soul, so I don't watch it. But that's what I mean by hate. Just knowing how to deal with your haters, and you got to pray for them. You have to pray and talk to God about, these people who are trying to destroy you, because trust me, when I tell you, as God takes you higher, it's good that, God does send people in your life who will be kind of like your army and be on the front line and just be there and have your back. I know who those people are in my life, and no matter what try to come my way, those people always have my back, and they, give me their support. So I just thank God for those people, and make sure you thank God for those people in your life, because when God is taking you high and God is doing, I'm talking about major things. I'm talking about little petty little blessings. I'm talking about major blessings in your life. Best believe it's not those people. The haters is the enemy in his camp, and he just uses those people. He uses those people to complete and carry out his plan that he has, against you, which pretty much is about him and God. It's really not about you and about us and me. It's really a war against, between good and evil. It's about the devil versus God, and we know who's going to win. We know, the battle has already been won. We're just major players in it, and it's really up for us to be wise enough and be able to hear God's voice and listen and just know the truth and tune into what he has to say. The third thing that I would like to kind of talk about when it comes to pursuing your dreams is, I already talked about that you have to kind of just remain steadfast, persistent, keep with your same drive and determination that you had when you first started. Make sure you continue on with that same drive and determination. Don't give up, because it's going to get rough, but just know that if God has called you to it, he will bring you through it. So whatever it is that is trying to get in your way, it can't get in your way, because what's destined to happen is going to happen. You just have to remain steadfast and just be focused. Forget about the haters. The haters are there to develop you and the person that God has for you to be. Because remember, Jesus had haters, but guess what? They took him to Calvary. They helped him complete his mission, because he knew what his mission was when he was put on this earth. He knew why he was born. And so the people from Judas to everyone else who helped Jesus get to where he needed to be when he got up on that cross, they, in today's terms, would have been considered haters. Someone is trying to bring you down. Someone who is not trying to help you. But in a sense, they did help him get to where he needed to go, which was the cross, so he could die for our sins, and our sins could be forgiven, so that we will be covered in Jesus' blood. But the last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about when it comes to your dreams is knowing the difference between your will and God's will. Because it's one thing, and I'm getting very uncomfortable sitting this way, but it's one thing to have a dream, and it's another thing to have a vision that God gives you. Because we can have goals and we can create our own goals and our own different things that we want to accomplish in life. But if it's not something that God has put inside of you, it's not something that God has ordained, it's almost going to be like that's your goal. That's not what God has for you. And especially if you're a person who is trying to live according to the will of God, then you will want to make sure that your dream is in line with what God has created you for and put you here on this earth for. And I keep talking about what God has created you and put you on this earth for, and that boils down to purpose. You know, a lot of people live day to day and wake up every day and don't know why in the hell they are here. Why do you exist? I mean, if you went around and asked that question to 100 people, you might get 10 that could give you a solid answer and tell you why they exist. And it's not an easy question to answer, to know why are you here. Like when you think of your birthday, many people think of cake and ice cream or getting a bottle of alcohol and getting drunk, but it's really not about that. You know, you can celebrate something, but if you don't know why you're celebrating it, you don't know, okay, yeah, you know you were born that day, that's just your birth date. But what is your purpose? Why are you here? You know, it's everybody's here for a reason. So it helps to know like your purpose and make sure that your dream is in line with your purpose. And for the longest, you know, I've had this dream that I talk about in American Dreamer, my book. And by the way, if you would like to get updates on my book that is scheduled to be released any day now, you can like me on Facebook at facebook.com. I'm not even going to say the slash part because you know the slash part, but in case you don't, slash American Dreamer book. I mean, it's just as simple. How many words is that? American Dreamer book. Facebook. Look me up on Facebook. Like my page. You'll get updates there on my book. But for the longest, like I had this dream. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you like what was the dream. But something happened in my life that I'm not going to talk about because I talk about it in my book. And once you guys have read the book, then I'll talk about it. And that's another thing I'm kind of trying to decide, like, should I release my movie first? Or should I release my book first? Or should I release them at the same time? I guess you'll have to continue to tune in to find out. But make sure your dreams are aligned. And you'll know if your dream is aligned with the purpose and the will of God. You will know, trust me. Because I thought I knew, but then God, He showed me. He will show you, you know, what's in His will, especially if you're the type of person you say, oh God, I want to follow your will. God, let your will be done. When you pray something, best believe God will allow it to happen. So if you ask God and tell God, God, allow your will be done. Not my will, Lord Jesus, but your will. He gonna allow His will be done. And His will has been done in my life. And even though it has been a struggle for me, because I allow His will to happen in my life, I know that there's a big blessing waiting for me in the end. So just know that if you don't give up, you remain steadfast, you pray for your haters, and you allow your will to take a back seat to God's will for your life will be so much better and your dreams will come true and you will be a great success. So just remember those 3 things. I know I talk too much. I can't help it. That's my brain. That's just how my brain operates, you guys. This is me. I'm not being fake. This is just how I am, you guys. So, I mean, it's like you take it or leave it. You may not like it. I can't do nothing about that. You know, I talk about this in my book too because it's just I am who I am. I quit a lot of jobs because people just couldn't handle me. I'm not corporate America material. I'm not employment material. Obviously, you know, I've been employed by a job and God knows when because I have my own mind. I'm just my own person, you know. So more on that later. But I mean, like me on Facebook. If you like my videos, I'll try to make them a little bit more entertaining. You know, I try to kind of be myself and be a little humorous sometimes, and sometimes I'm just kind of bored. When I started school, my first day of kindergarten, my kindergarten teacher wrote a note to my mom, who is probably the strictest lady on this earth, like the meanest lady on this earth. You hear me talk about my mom a lot, and that's just me being real. That's how I feel about my mom. That's just how I feel about her, you know. She's just mean, you know. She's a mean lady, but she ain't play the lane. She did when I say she did not play radio, this lady did not play radio for real. Y'all probably meet my mom. She try to put on a smile and act like she hey chap. Nah. My mom is mean as hell. But my kindergarten teacher wrote a note to my mom on the first day of school. I like almost like I got in trouble. Like, can't you believe that? Like, I know many of you have kids, you know, probably it's kindergarten age, elementary school age. So you know what I'm talking about. You send your child to school and they get sent home some on the first day of school with a note from the teacher. This teacher had the nerve to tell my mom that your daughter was excellent today in school. Because I'm always active and, you know, participating. I love school. I love school. I'm like a teacher's pet. You know, I do all my work, do all my assignments, turn them in on time, everything. You know, I'm on point when it comes to academics. That's one thing. Can't play with me with that. But there's always a but. But this lady told my mom on that note, she has a motor mouth. So that shut me up for a while after she said that. Now my mom got on me about talking too much because I talk too much, you know. I just talk too much. But the thing about me is like I either talk too much or I don't say anything at all. It's like no in between, like with me. I don't know how to balance it out quite yet. I do, you know, but it just feels good to talk and I guess to hear yourself talk. But I'm gonna shut up for now. Like me on Facebook, facebook.com/author Danielle Leach. Do I need to spell that? I hope I don't, you guys. Google it if you don't know how to spell. I mean, it's only but so many ways you can spell Danielle. Anyways, catch you guys later.